music is a part of culture. Holidays are a part of culture. How you do things is a part of culture. So we're creating culture now, today, deliberately. And you had mentioned something about like low parts of Black culture, which we're ashamed of. One thing I'm well known for is talking about the Black man. Pull up your pants, speak clear English, be a strong leader, be honorable, be masculine. And I talk about the man and the woman, and those are things we have to fix. So I acknowledge the high and low culture. We have high Black culture and we have low Black culture.
I want to ask Saint and Kiana a question. I took exception with AAEV. I was looking at a couple different studies, right? And I was looking at fourth graders particularly. And it looked like Latino, it was from Cambridge, Latino kids in fourth grade were reading at 7 percentage points higher than so-called Black American children, right? I know Saint had mentioned the dialect AAEV, and I just want to get Kiana's input as well, right? But I took exception with it because I'm seeing it conflicting with the standard English that they're being taught in schools, and therefore the kids are failing. So if we're teaching them Ebonics or AAEV in our houses, right, I'm seeing it have a negative correlation to the schooling because that's not what they're teaching at the schools.
Mm-hmm. That's factual. I would say that's factual. Just on, you look at someone who's an immigrant and comes to the United States, they have a certain dialect or, language that they speak within the home. Now they enter schooling and they realize, okay, how we spoke at home is not how I'm going to be able to write this essay in school. And since it takes time and energy to actually be enmeshed in a culture and learn the language, especially with school, because even outside of school, there's things you would say in a social setting that you wouldn't say in school when you're writing that essay. So I could see why the reading and the language is having issue within school atmospheres because it's somewhat unfamiliar.
Okay. Saint, I thought I heard you had mentioned it. Apologize if I
Yes, sir. Okay. And number one, shout out to you. You're moderator extraordinaire. You're doing a phenomenal job at that. And it's not easy. So, and I'm just going to say African-American vernacular English, just because when you first said that, I was kind of like, wait, what? And just so for the audience.
I was trying to be accurate with the acronym.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Number one, it's a real thing, but it's a dialect and it really should be private. And there are a lot of times that it should not be used. So when I see people in my comments, I always tell them, you write in the Queen's English in my comments. Anytime you're writing properly, because African-American vernacular English, it is a spoken thing. It's a verbal, it's a speech culture. It's not supposed to be written. And furthermore, when you're writing it, you're only ensuring that you're practicing mechanics, grammar mechanics that are going to cause you to not be able to get a job. Okay. So we're a subculture. We're not the mainstream culture, and we have to respect that. Furthermore, when people call me the N-word, I kind of be like feeling offended. Like if I don't know you and you call me the N-word, like wait, what? I'm damn near offended. But if you my mans, I'm like, mine, you know what I'm saying? It's a different feel. And so when I teach them, don't ever write it. Only speak it to those you're familiar with and in the appropriate context. And one thing was noted about culture earlier, I think one of the ladies said it, is that culture comes from, far back and it takes time to create. It can take time to create, but it can also be created today, and it can also be created quickly. And one thing I want to note, and I do have to head out, and so I just want to thank everyone for allowing me to be here. Okay. But this weekend, the reason I have to head out is because my house is actually full. We have some lovely Black women here who are preparing a meal for this weekend. I'm hosting Saints Weekend, which is a holiday that we took Christmas and we took New Year's and we smashed them together. We pulled out the paganism. We pulled out the fat white guy who delivers gifts, and we're making it something that's an authentic reflection of the year past, plan for the year upcoming, and then we give each other feedback. And we're going to fill up the house with people and do that. We also made an album for it called Saints Weekend Volume 1. And why? Because music is a part of culture. Holidays are a part of culture. How you do things is a part of culture. So we're creating culture now, today, deliberately. And you had mentioned something about like low parts of Black culture, which we're ashamed of. One thing I'm well known for is talking about the Black man. Pull up your pants, speak clear English, be a strong leader, be honorable, be masculine. And I talk about the man and the woman, and those are things we have to fix. So I acknowledge the high and low culture. We have high Black culture and we have low Black culture, but right now we're in the process of building. And that's what I'm headlong in. And I appreciate all of you guys for giving me the platform. And again, a special shout out to you. You've been a great moderator. And I think you guys know anytime I show up, apparently if we got some unruly women on here, it's going to be an issue. So thank you for navigating that well, and peace to the saints.
Be safe.
So here's the thing, right? We're not going to just allow someone to be directly disrespectful and then run, right? So that's exactly what you're doing. What you're attempting to do is have the last word. There was no one that was disrespectful to you here. We're simply calling out your behavior that is contradictory. On one side of the token, you speak about the supremacy of Black culture, and on the other side, you shame the women who make that culture. And this is always the part that is interesting about this dynamic. Every single thing, when you talk to an FBA, every single thing about Black culture that they want to protect is the Black male part. And then as soon as you get to the part with the Black woman, that's the part that they want to disparage. That's the part that they want to make the scapegoat. That's the part that they want to sacrifice, right? So if y'all want to allow him to do that, y'all can allow him to do that. But that's exactly what he did. Once again, he threw out every single trope that he thought was negative. I'm not answering him. I have one daughter and I'm a married woman. My daughter is with my husband. But I'm not answering that question for you. Who are you? You're nobody, right? You don't have a family. So here's when we have this conversation. You threw out the trope that you thought I was a single mom. I had no hair, so I had to wear the white woman's hair. Last time I checked, no Black woman wears Alabama Yaki. We don't buy bundles of that, okay? That's not what we buy, okay? We don't wear white women's hair. That is exactly what is done every time we have a pro-Black conversation. And that is what happened here last week. A white woman was in the room. We were all together. The white woman left. We dogpiled on the Black woman. That's exactly what happened again in this conversation, and I'm going to call it out. So that's not angry and unruly. That's what pro-Black is.
I don't think that you can take that position and say that you were dogpiled amongst all people on this panel. I think that you and
I was not dogpiled last week. That's not what I'm talking about. I was
okay. Well, you made a reference to there being an attack on Black women. I don't agree with you. I think that you and Saint had some exchanges of words, and that's fine. You guys kind of dominated the conversation amongst the panel. So I just think that's your personal gripe, but I hear you.
What I said was he was speaking of Black supremacy. When he was speaking about Black culture, its wealth, opportunity, if it were to be a nation,
yeah.
Then he immediately went to disparage Black women and speak about baby mothers, wigs, dancing, twerking, unruly behavior. That is what I'm speaking about. I didn't say all Black men on this panel did that. What I said was that he did that while professing to be pro-Black, while professing Black American supremacy. I'm pointing out the contradiction.
Okay, fair.